They too small, I got big dreams.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pun Fun, where we have fun with the puns. My name is Ryan, and we're going to check out episode 1 of Loki. If you have not yet seen the episode 1 of Loki, be sure to do so before checking out this episode, because major spoilers ahead. Also, you may want to check out Endgame, because there's a lot of tie-ins to that movie. So let's get into it. We've had a lot of requests, and a lot of people actually, message us. What is a Nexus? What is the TVA? Who are the Time Men or women? How about Miss Minutes? And, why did this Loki particularly got chosen out of, the many Lokis that may exist? So we're going to get into that. Just also a heads up. If you check out, I think 2 episodes prior, we did a breakdown of all the things you needed to know before heading into the first episode of Loki, which some of our fans actually went ahead and did right before checking it out, and it helped them understand this universe that they're not too familiar with. Because in the MCU, we've really been with the Earth realm. We've checked a bit of, the magic, a lot in the robotics, but we haven't really seen the cosmic side besides Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think that's where they want to explore more. Timeline. They want to bring in Kang, the Fantastic Four, which has always been, associated with the cosmos and, the cosmic side of Marvel. So let's get into it. Just like TVA did, we're going to break down Loki. So basically, we see Loki from 2012 after the attack of New York. Basically takes a Tesseract because Tony had dropped it, because Hulk had to use the stairs. So now you guys see what the stairs can cause. And boom, he lands in the desert just as Tony once did. There's going to be a big allusion, or at least a big comparison to Tony. The same way that Tony came from, this kind of go-lucky past, and he didn't really know what was going on. He was very destructive, bringing pain to a lot of people. But again, he wasn't really aware of it or cognizant of it. And then after that moment, there was some growth. So there was some building to do. There was some, maturing and discovering things that his dad left for him and everybody else kind of left for him to build on and become this hero that is able to make the sacrifice move. Now, will Loki also make that sacrifice move? We're going to see down the line. However, there is going to be, a growth for Loki. We've already seen him, get broken down by TVA. Now, you would think, okay, so Loki escaped, used a time winder, did his whole thing, checked out his future, and Mobius was not aware of this. I think Mobius intentionally wanted him to see this. He wanted him to not only see what the kind of growth that he'd be missing out by staying in TVA. 2, that he was able to change one time around, or to some extent, he was able to make the sacrifice move. He had done it for his brother. So by letting him see, Odin die, by seeing the words that his brother bring forth, by seeing also how he, basically dies of the hand of Thanos, he's having this bum rush of growth happen within him, which I guess can be a lot to take in. But this is the way TVA is going to break you down, build you back up, and maybe it's to make him officially, an agent with them that they can trust. Now, will Loki stay on a straight arrow? That we do not know. He may curve or deviate again, but, Loki is going to be Loki. And I think it would be really cool if he does go that route and, become that anti-hero that we need. So, TVA and the Minutemen or Minutewomen, who are they and why are they so strong? Because if you think about it, Loki's a god. And even though his magic isn't in play, you still have the power or might of a god. So they are beings that are created by the Timekeepers. Actually, the whole TVA is created by the Timekeepers. And there's a bit of a flaw to that too, because they're reliant on these 3 Timekeepers. If one of them were to be out of bound, which I know their main goal is to be, straight on to that same timeline and not create any deviance. If one were to be deviant themselves, it can create quite the disturbance and actually corrupt TVA, which we're going to see down the line how that works. For example, seeing that Skrull, in the beginning shot of, coming into TVA, yes, of course, he didn't have any officers or anybody with that person or with that Skrull, but that's the thing. We're seeing them now within S.H.I.E.L.D., we're seeing them within TVA as well. we're giving them a lot of trust, but what happens when they, maybe want to invade or have a secret invasion? Well, we'll see. But again, we're giving a lot of trust to these entities, to the Skrulls, to the three timekeepers. We have in good faith that, they would carry on the mission as it was told. Again, this whole place was made specifically for those who, deviate from it. Anyways, we're getting off track, just like our timeline. What is a nexus? So a nexus is someone or a being or an entity that can create a nexus event. And these events basically are very catastrophic, can cause wars, but mainly it diverts from the timeline. So anybody who has that kind of power to do that is called a nexus being or nexus entity. Loki in this case wasn't a nexus entity or a nexus being because he also had the stone, and because of all the trouble he's kind of caused, this kind of put him on the board. So it's kind of like a most wanted board. Anybody who's a nexus being, like for example Wanda for sure was being checked out, highly surveilled as well, because she can, ultimately, and she has been going through this universe, has caused chaos, will go through multiverses as well and cause havoc as well. Will she be locked up? I think that's the goal. I think that's the end game for her. Or maybe it could be her being destroyed. We're going to see that later down the line, but those are some of the predictions that we're going to meet. The person that is the variant right now who's causing or killing off the Minutemen, we know obviously it's a Loki. They said it's a Loki. What, it's a shapeshifter. Shapeshifter. In disguise as a Loki, as, maybe they've seen Loki cause trouble before, and they said, hey, let's make this person's, life a living hell. Speaking of hell, I know a lot of you are also talking about that Mephisto or that, devil type stained glass portrait that we see. It could be a nod to Mephisto. It could also just be, Loki with his horns that the child saw, especially in the 1800s. This magic being who, gives me bubblegum that we've never seen before can definitely be, alluded to being the devil. So when Miss Minute gives us, a bit of a back history of wars before, we kind of see the Kree versus another, I guess, warriors, which could be, I guess, it could be, I don't think it's the Titans. It would probably be maybe Novacorp, which I thought it was cool, but we knew they are fighting on Titan because we do see the ship in the background just as the Titans planet had, floating about and were crumbled when we went to visit the planet Titan. We also get to meet Gugu, who was that person, or the judge, if you will, who was to condemn Loki of his crimes. This person may also be Ravonna, who we know is, not within the MCU, but within the comic world, Ravonna actually works alongside Kang. So she's definitely corrupted or will be corrupted. So you're going to see her more often, and something that you need to pay attention to. She may work within TVA, and already we're seeing, signs of there will be corruption. So not everything in TVA is as it seems, and that's something you need to keep in mind as well. Again, Phase 4, I think, is all about illusions. So about WandaVision, it was all about creating this massive illusion. You also had Falcon and Winter Soldier, which was, living up to that illusion, creating, also you had Captain 2.0 being the illusion. And then you also have here this world that you're not too sure what's happening or what's going on. But you're not too also sure where does the line is drawn, basically. Who is real, who is not, who is on your side, who's the good guys, who's the bad guys. And that's something we're going to check out in the following episodes to come. So please hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more to break down, and we'll be giving you guys more tidbits and a lot more breakdowns to these major elements you guys have been bringing up. If there's anything you weren't too sure about in the Loki series, be sure to put it in our comments, hit the like button, and we'll be back with episode 2 in a short while. Take care, guys. Peace.